I wish we were better strangers, Shakespeare.
Sell when you can. You are not for all markets, Shakespeare.
You're a great conversation topic. Not when you're here but when you leave.
Everyone brings joy to this place. Some by entering, and some by leaving.
You're not the dumbest person in the world, but you better hope they don't die. If I were on the receiving end, I would respond, then I hope you live responsibly.
You're as useful as an ashtray on a motorcycle.
Or favorite of my Gramps, you're as useful as a sightseeing tour for the blind.
You seem like the sort of person who knows which color of crayon tastes the best.
Oorah.
There really are no gaps in your ignorance.
Reminds me of, greater than well my days of not taking you seriously are certainly coming to a middle. Captain Mal, Firefly.
Just stole this from another Redditor yesterday. Your family tree doesn't fork.
Your family tree is a wreath. You had so much potential. Stole this from an ex-girlfriend.
It's not me, it's you.
You're difficult to underestimate.
I expected nothing and was still disappointed.
Stolen from Bob's Burgers. If she was a spice, she'd be flour.
In the world of hot sauces, you would be ketchup.
One of my faves. You couldn't pour water out of a boot with the instructions on the heel.
The version I heard of this is that it's piss instead of water.
Having you around is like losing 3 good friends.
I heard someone talking about a garbage employee. Hiring him was like losing 2 good people. If your brain was made out of leather, you'd have enough to saddle a June bug.
If brains were gunpowder, you couldn't even blow your nose.
I bet your parents change the subject when people ask about you.
Very similar to one of my favorite 30 Rock quotes when Jack is talking to the writers and asks them, "What do your parents tell their friends you do for a living?" You couldn't find water if you fell out of a boat.
Dry dock, in it.
I'd say you could learn from this, but then we'd both be wrong. I can explain it to you, but I can't understand it for you.
One of my favorite Archer jokes uses this format. Can you explain compound interest to Cheryl? I could, if we had an infinite amount of time, and she were someone else.
You're 7 pennies short of a nickel.
What does this even mean?
I don't mean to sound condescending. That means talk down to you.
I heard this in Jimmy Carr's voice.
You've only got 2 brain cells, and they're both fighting for 3rd place.
If you had one more brain cell, it would be lonely.
I envy those who don't know you.
I've legit said this about a coworker. It's the most accurate and polite thing that could be said about her that day.
I've been called worse by better. Secondhand story. Can't verify the authenticity and may get some of the terms wrong as I am not in the military. Enlisted soldier who was a combat veteran went to OCS to become an officer. Someone younger and further along was harassing him and the veteran turned and said, "I've killed better men than you," and walked off. Well, at least you're pretty.
One of our asshole former WA board members was always so rude and mean for no reason to residents when they asked simple, valid questions, so I finally said, "You're already fat and ugly, you don't have room to be an asshole on top of that." He honestly was quite horrendous looking.